Welcome back to our In the Spotlight interview. Kathleen, boy, do we have a clip that people are going to be pleased about. This comes out of a Bloomington school board meeting that happened right here in Illinois. And this is another example of parents fighting back on bad legislation. This particular legislation that this woman is discussing, Becky Swan, who we'll have on in a moment, is SB 818. This is mandated comprehensive sex ed. And it is pornographic sex ed. We put out a number of talking points about this. We are so happy that Becky picked up on that and did something with it, went to her school board. She is a force to be reckoned with. We are so happy that she is helping fight back against really horrible legislation.
And this video went viral.
Yeah,
a lot of parents resonated with it.
Yes.
They were appalled.
Yes, they were. And anyway, let's hear the clip. Go ahead, JP.
First of all, my questions 2 weeks ago was to ask you why Jackie Gunderson came to the school and spoke to your staff for 2 days straight. A failed mayoral candidate, a failed county board candidate. And she came to your school when she procures bids for ISU with construction and came to your school and spoke to your staff for 2 straight days. Why did she do that? This is why she did that. This is why she did that. To make sure that when our students want to know whether or not they have a vagina or a penis, they have pictures from your staff to be able to help them. They don't have enough sex. They don't have enough anal sex. They need adults to tell them how to masturbate. And what I call that is... So here's what I'm asking you. You have a hard time hearing this from me, but this is for 10 years old and up, and this bill was passed for 5-year-olds. And you have a hard time me sitting here telling you the words anal sex, masturbation. That's hard for you, or the time's up, because the time's not really up. I don't believe you, Mr. Wiley, that my time is up. But I'm going to end with this. I'll close with this, because this was too much for you. I can tell right now, and that's why you're cutting me off. But last time I said, you know what? Critical race theory. Little girl in the back was laughing every single time Megan said something because white people oppress black people, right? Isn't your principal black? Isn't your mayor black? Now I would like to introduce to you Ty Smith.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so on the phone with us right now is Becky Swan, who you just heard that clip that she absolutely went after her school board about. Becky, welcome onto our podcast.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor to be here.
Well, listen, apparently your comments to that school board and your rightful outrage, it went viral, 2 million hits.
So yeah, that was Friday. It went viral on TikTok at 2.2 million before they censored it and pulled the audio down.
And so they pulled the audio down because you obviously said things of a nature, words, anal sex, masturbation.
Standards.
Yeah, violating community standards. Yet this is exactly what SB 818. This is an Illinois law, by the way. If you're listening to our podcast across the nation, this is an Illinois law that was passed. The House and the Senate passed it. It's sitting in the House right now. It is not on the governor's desk yet for signature. We're hoping that he vetoes it. We're calling school boards across the state to pass resolutions, put out a press release saying that they will not put SB 818 in place because it is pornographic, right? I mean, the National Sex Education Standards, which are mandated in this bill, say that 3rd, 4th, 5th graders are going to learn about masturbation. And Becky, you didn't back down from using the language that need to be used, that is going to be used with kids in elementary school.
And
Absolutely.
It is shocking.
Yep. So tell us, I mean, we're proud of you. Did it take a lot of courage to go before them? It is a little bit intimidating.
So it didn't really, what I was imagining is if I can't do this, then no one else can do this, because they you're asking me if it's intimidating. I'm going to answer, they tried really hard to intimidate me. So that's what I guess my answer is. If I don't intimidate easily, but they work really hard to intimidate, what they're doing to everyone else?
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of moms, and I'm telling you a lot, and dads too, but a lot of moms that are coming out and saying thank you, because maybe they're not as, aggressive and assertive as I am. So I was able to get upset because in the beginning I really wasn't. And 2 weeks prior when I said, this is why, there's a part of the video where I'm saying, I came here 2 weeks ago and I asked you questions. So what happened was I came back with the answers because they were all rhetorical. I already knew the answers to the questions. And I thought, they scare people off is what they do. If you email them, they don't answer you. If you call them, they blow you off. And what we found at the Unit 5 board meeting in Normal on Wednesday is that the superintendent will get up in front of all the people and tell them that what's going on in Bloomington was just lies. It's all propaganda. And so that's another intimidation tactic. And then she tried to kick us out and get us to leave because we wouldn't put our masks on.
But it's not an intimidation factor. We know that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to take a lot of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And for you to step up like that was a really extraordinary thing. So I want to thank you on behalf of thousands of parents across the state who it's very difficult to stand up and say those words and articulate, but it needed to happen. How has your community reacted? I mean, this video went everywhere. What's been the reaction to you following that?
The reaction I've been unable to respond to everyone, and it's a full-time job almost because I want to say no, thank you. You know what I mean? Like when people are in my inbox.
So it's been very positive.
No, thank you. Thank you for taking a stand, because I do understand that not everybody can storm a school board. People will say, I'm busy. I had a football game, or not a football game, but a baseball game, or, I'm in Florida right now. It's the summertime. I get it.
Did you have anybody say, well, I'm a teacher, I really can't speak up? Did that happen?
That's exactly what I'm saying. So I'm sorry I couldn't be there because I work for the school. I'm sorry I was there, but I couldn't say anything because I work for the school. Wait, what does that mean? What are they saying? So if we take everything, and there's so much to unpack with what's happened in the last several weeks. We got the first board meeting at District 87 that I went to. And then we got the second one where the minute and a half went viral. Then we got the third one that was Unit 5 and Normal. And if you take all three of them and you put them together, there's something going on. And it has been going on, and SB 818 is just the tool to make it legal. And that's what I'm telling you right now.
So it's interesting.
So I won't go into that too much, but there was a lot of teachers that did show up to Unit 5. There were several teachers that did show up to District 87 who said, we want this bill passed. Specifically, a teacher that said, he's on live stream. So whatever I'm saying right now is not, slander or anything else. He got up in front of everybody there, in front of 200 people that were present, in front of the board, and they live streamed it to everyone absent and anyone who still can click on that link. So what can we say? Hundreds of thousands of people can watch that?
So you have a teacher who actually wants to sexualize kids, because that's exactly what this bill did, and that's why we were so adamant about making sure that when we put out something from Breakthrough Ideas, that we gave you actually the links so you can investigate yourself, so that this wasn't just something made up story. But this bill is very nefarious. It even says that in K through 5th grade, if you teach any bit of personal safety or health to those children, then these comprehensive sex ed standards come into play, and you must teach this. This is how nefarious this bill is. And so it is literally the sexual grooming of young kids, make no doubt about it. It is literally sexual harassment by its definition, because some of the material is so egregious. It's so I don't know. It's just not appropriate for kids, that they are going to feel embarrassed in front of their peers if they have to consume this in front of their peers. Of course. And that is sexual harassment by definition.
We attempted to watch it as adults. I mean, we made ourselves look at all the material, and we were horrified.
We were horrified. We were literally covering our hands because
I've been married for 30 years, and I had a hard time with that book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So the book that she's talking about, I forgot to go back and talk about that.
Perfectly Normal.
It's called It's Perfectly Normal. It's for ages 10 or up. It has cartoonish, very sexual pictures. It shows male, female getting it on right there in a cartoon figure. It's
all the full genitalia.
Full
It shows
genitalia,
children
everything.
masturbating.
Yep.
It shows children masturbating.
That's right. And so you brought that book
That is
to the
in
school
child
board
porn.
meeting. And the reason this book is important for people to understand is that this is a book that, quote unquote, complies with national sex education standards, which this bill requires to be taught. So this is absolutely the curriculum that you would see in Illinois public schools if this bill gets signed by the governor. That's why your outrage against this and the fact that it went viral was so important. Can we talk about just one more tag onto this? Because the other thing about this bill is that the National Sex Education Standards actually brings in elements of critical race theory. And we just had that full discussion with a gentleman from the St. Charles School Board where they're fighting deep equity. And you were followed by a man named Ty Smith.
Yes.
And
Yes.
his video on slamming critical race theory has actually also gone viral.
Yeah,
so you guys are just
You're
doing
like a
it.
tag
Central
team.
Illinois,
Yeah.
you are full out fighting this. I love it.
So Ty Smith's one of my good friends, and that was a planned, coordinated attack.
We appreciate it.
Outstanding.
So,
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I introduced Ty Smith. We planned that 2 weeks ago, prior to that first board meeting that I keep alluding to. We came with some allegations. We came with some, what I'm saying is rhetorical questions that I find I know the answers to, or what I believe I know the answers to, right? Because I don't have absolute proof. We don't have all the emails, but Diane Benjamin had, with BLN News, FOIA requested emails with going back and forth between Tim Moore and Jackie Gunderson. So then when we get gaslit by Barry Riley, the superintendent of District 87, after we leave. Okay, so we did talk about critical race theory at that first board meeting. We did talk about masks, and we did talk about the sex ed bill. We got gaslit when we left. So basically what he did was he said, we don't represent our community, we're disappointing. And he's continued to say on the pantograph, and Glenn Beck picked that up, that I'm saying it's being taught right now, and I'm saying that book's being used right now in District 87. So none of those things that I said. We know that it's not being taught right now. It's a bill that's pending. Follow along, Mr. Riley.
That's right. No, but they want to infer, they want to project that you don't know what you're talking about by inferring, by saying things that are not true, and that is the problem. And that's why it was important for us to put out the information, because they wanted to tell you, well, you just don't know what you're talking about.
And everyone should understand that is the media narrative, and so they will only report things that feed that narrative. They won't, they're not going to objectively report you and Ty speaking out.
It was my pleasure to bring one of my good friends, Ty Smith, and introduce him, and to watch him go viral himself.
He was
on
amazing.
Fox News.
Amazing.
And we planned that, and I had been texting him for several days prior, and Ty is already popular and famous, and he has a radio show on Cities 92.9. So Ty doesn't always get back to his text messages, and so it was like, Becky, you need to get in here and ask him directly. Well, here's what happened. Finally, he got my text messages, because he was being told, hey, Becky's been trying to talk to you and you haven't been answering. He's like, wait, what? And then he looks 10 minutes prior to him getting on his last radio show that occurred prior to that board meeting. And he became so furious 10 minutes prior. And he's like, wait, what? He felt so bad. He missed all of the texts. And so he read them all and gets on air, and he had to say, I have to calm myself down right now. I cannot believe this is happening, and I will be at that board meeting.
That's terrific.
That was excellent.
Becky,
that was his way of answering my text messages.
Well, thank you for being the catalyst here. We appreciate it. I mean, people should understand Bloomington Normal. You're sort of nice, Central Illinois, kind of a farming community, but it's also got the Illinois State University there. And when you get those state universities there, you get a little bit of the woke culture coming into your local environment. You've got, progressive leftist professors as well. And so, I mean, it's so great that you are taking back your school boards and taking back your community. We absolutely appreciate your advocacy and your activism. This is just amazing, and keep up the good work. So
Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. I just wanted to say before I go that like I said, I understand everybody can't just go storm a school board meeting, but what you can do is show up, and if you cannot do that, what you can do is say that you support. That's huge to me. It's huge to Ty. It's huge to everybody else, because we get it. Not everybody gets fired up and starts yelling at a group of people who are dead wrong about what they're doing. I enjoy bullying bullies. So
yes, love it.
It is a gift that has been given to me from birth. My parents are not surprised by this. So I just want to let you know that it is incredibly important to have your support to say, hey, Becky, or just like something, or even comment or friend me on Facebook. I'm accepting everyone. I don't care right now. And follow Ty. He's a modern Renaissance man on Facebook.
I'm following Becky.
Behind the movement. It's called the movement. That's what we're calling this.
Movement. All right.
You're going to shut this down. And I just wanted to marry a couple of things. And I think I might have said it already. But and you just said it, Jeannie, that the coordinated attempt and attack. There's ISU, and we know that WGLT and the Panagraph support everything that comes out of ISU. But what I hadn't figured out was that District 87 and Unit 5 are already there. And so ISU, you can say, okay, well, I went to ISU, and I have a daughter who went to ISU.
Well,
that's for grown-ups, right?
ISU is known
about
in Illinois, but in Illinois, ISU is known as our education school. So they are ground zero in the state of Illinois for that whole cultural teacher leading and teaching standards, which is all critical race theory that is going to be forced on them and imposed on them by mandate, right? So let's put this all together. ISU is ground zero. So for you to have the movement there is super important.
Yes. Absolutely.
And
I
you
live
let
in
us know what we can do to help.
It just so happens I live not too far away from ISU, so
it's a good school. Look, my niece just graduated from there in the nursing program. It's a good school. I don't want to do that, but honestly, they have got to be tamped down with and get back to Midwestern values.
Absolutely. And to have people that they push, and what I mean is they being the progressive left, to get on to the city council and to get on to the school boards and to get on to the county board. ISU happens to be a common denominator. So I don't know everything, but hey, prove me wrong on that.
Well, listen,
there's so many things going on here that we need to unpack, and we need to keep moving forward. And the movement is something that we're planning, and Cities 92.9 is where you can find out all about it.
Excellent.
Terrific. We appreciate what you're doing. We'll have you back on. We'd love to speak with Ty if you can get a hold of him for us.
Oh,
we'd love to have him on as well.
Any of those calls.
That's the thing about those radio guys.
Yeah, I know. That's great.
Look, Ty, I get it. You're famous, Ty, but hey.
You let us know how we can be involved and how we can help. Please stay in touch.
I appreciate
what you're doing is so important.
So much.
Thank you, Becky.
So
Take
important.
Care.
I agree.
Okay.
Thank you, Becky.
Bye-bye.
Bye.